Here's a little tutorial on child's pose with a variation of the thighs being parallel rather than the traditional child's pose where the knees are usually more wider than the hips and the feet come closer together. So you'll need some optional props here. You'll definitely need one of these props, but if you don't have one or the other, I wanted to show a variety. So you could either use a blanket or two blankets. I have those folded. If you don't have blankets handy and you do have like a Pilates ball that has a lot of squish to it, that would be a second option as well. And then you may or may not need an optional block. So what we're going to do is we're going to come onto your hands and knees, and then you'll take whatever your object is. I'm going to show this with the two blankets. You could also actually do this with a couple of firm pillows as well. So instead of starting with your knees wider in child's pose like this with your feet together, we're going to keep the knees a little more parallel so the thighs are perpendicular to the floor here and the feet are extended backwards. I'm going to take the two blankets and place them right across my lower torso. So I have them covering my lower ribs and most of the front of the pelvis here. Then what I'm going to do from there is sit back towards child's pose and just keep that barrier in front of my ribs and my pelvis. Now, if you can't get your seat all the way back to your feet, like I'm showing, you can see how far away my upper body has to shift as I bring my seat back to my feet. You can stay with your hips a little bit higher. That's fine. The idea here is to bring your forearms to the floor. Now, we don't want the elbows way out. We want them right underneath your shoulders. And you can even do a variation where you turn your palms up towards the sky here so the forearms are parallel. Now, if your head doesn't rest down on the floor, we don't want to drop the head like so. We want to keep the front of the throat open. So what you can do is take a block or a book and place it on the forehead, or forehead on the block rather. Now, you can hear that it's a little bit harder for me to talk here, and the reason for that is I've compressed the front of the belly and rib cage a little, which is restricting my speaking a bit. But I'm not going to speak for a moment. As I just show you, I'd like you to inhale through your nose, nice, soft, relaxed inhale. And you'll feel that inhale perhaps come into the mid, back, upper back area. Then exhale through pursed lips or a nice long mouth open sigh. Let all the air come out. And then inhale again, closing the mouth, breathing in through the nose. So we're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth with a nice relaxed sigh. Make sure that you breathe all the air out, not in a forced way, but in a nice relaxed way, and then follow that by a nice inhale. And again, you can also use the ball. If you have one, you would place that right in front of the abdomen, lower ribs to pelvis here, and against your thighs, and you would melt forward and then bring your palms to face up. And so this is going to help usher the breath into the mid-back, upper back. Again, you don't want to have the elbows far out in front of you. Bring them closer in. Keep the throat open. And again, if your seat doesn't come all the way back to your feet, that's okay. The point here is to place a little boundary through the front of the torso so that the breath and the air can expand and open the space, often in the tight space between the upper back and the mid back. All right, so have fun exploring that. Enjoy your breaths.